Okay, so we'll just hold it. It'll just be another dog like this because I don't see it holding out for that sort of activity. It's just not gonna be that day for this thing, unfortunately. Anyway, so we will start in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello YouTube, welcome back to my second video on this beautiful diary channel that I have created. This is not my first time recording this. As you know, a tale of beginner YouTubers go, I did record this once before. I had my makeup all pretty, it was just so beautiful and I liked it. Went for 38 minutes and then the audio failed. And I had to completely scrap the whole video because no audio was caught. And when I say no audio, I mean zilch, like a 0. So here I am. This is take 200. No, I'm just playing, just take 2. But this is the video of what took me so long to start my YouTube channel. I'm gonna start with some context as to why I'm making this video. This is for the people out there who have allowed things and limitations to keep them from the life that they've always wanted to live, the life that they've always dreamed of living. These are for the people that feel like they can't believe in their dreams or that they're dreaming too big. One thing I have learned at my young, ripe age, you are never dreaming too big and you will never run out of time to chase your dreams unless you stop. You know, you will never... As long as you keep going, as long as you're consistent, as long as you put forth some consistent effort towards whatever you want, no matter what the circumstances are, you will get somewhere. And I truly wholeheartedly believe that. That's why I'm here. So this is for the other people who may just need some help with a situation or really believing in their dreams and just going after it, because we all deserve to live happy, especially in this economy. We all deserve to find our own little pocket of happiness and enjoy that, because not everyone in this world is counting on us to be happy. We have to count on ourselves for our own happiness. That's just how it is. The first barrier I want to talk about is the fear of criticism or the fear of judgment. Now, for me, it wasn't just other people's judgment that I kind of didn't really like anticipating. I also am kind of really judgmental of myself, or was. We'll put it in past tense because we have been working on it. But I was very judgmental of myself, and that didn't help. I had to learn that where I'm going, the rest of the world is going to have an opinion on what I should do, what I should say, who I should be, and the one person that should have my back and that should have my best interest in mind and that should be kind to me is me. If I'm not kind to me, then how can I expect anyone else to be kind to me? And how can I expect to hold my own and keep my composure in places where I will need to know exactly who I am, why I'm there, and shake a couple feathers in the meantime, you know. So I had to learn not to criticize myself, but to see it as encouragement in order to push myself through love and not through shame or hatred or, you know, self-pity or self-doubt or any other negative emotion, and most importantly, anger. I know a lot of people use their anger to get places, but a lot of unhealthy anger just doesn't lead to a lot of, you know, good things down the road, you know, heart problems and things like that, especially in a time where we're actually seeing more of a younger crowd get heart problems and these different things from stress and whatnot really early, it's just better to learn to take a different approach, a wusa approach, if you will. But also, I had to learn that just because someone had an opinion of me, it didn't mean I had to internalize it. Everyone's gonna have an opinion. Some people are gonna like it, some people are not. But whatever matters is your own judgment. Did you feel happy making it? Did you do the best that you could in your time with what you had? That's all you need to do. That's all. Because we do the best we can and we get better along the way. But if we never start, then how will we grow? That leads me to my next barrier, which is perfectionism or not feeling ready. So I'm a Virgo, and those of you who know Virgos and know astrology know that Virgos are notorious for being perfectionistic and wanting things to be exactly how they, see it in their head, or exactly cleaned this way, or exactly done this way. And while I do have a couple of those traits where, if something isn't done right, I'd just rather do it myself, plain Virgo style. It is very important in order to say, like, this is the best that I can do with what I have. Not feeling ready was just another self-sabotaging coping mechanism that my body was doing in order to keep me safe, in order to make me, stay safe inside my little shell until I had whatever. But lying in wait forever is not the answer to your problems, especially when you're trying to follow your dreams, because you have opportunities and things that are in front of you that you really don't want to miss. And so holding back with the excuse of not being ready doesn't really solve the problem, and it doesn't get you further. A lot of this for me was solved through shadow work. I'm very spiritual, and so I took a lot of approaches in order to really face those thoughts and face those parts of me that, felt like they had to be perfect. They had to be, at least good at it. It's the part of me that didn't want to be seen trying, the part of me that didn't want to fail, the part of me that was scared and was trying to protect myself. Again, the body will do a lot in order to protect itself, and that's just one of those things, whether it's mental or physical. We've got your fight or flight, parasympathetic versus sympathetic system. You've got a lot going on in order to keep you safe. Never forget that you have people or, things that you can lean on, and if not, then you be your own best leader. You be your own cheerleader. Moving on to the next barrier, we have technical intimidation. Now, I cannot tell you how many technical issues I have had. It is truly countless. It is truly countless. But I want this bad enough to where I will put those to the side, even though I do have them. As long as I get this figured out, I am totally fine with whatever happens beforehand, because the goal is to get somewhere. The goal is to push the needle forward, a little bit at a time every day, so that we get somewhere and we're not in the same place we were yesterday. So even with, starting and getting things going, there's still some things that can happen, like my last video, 38 minutes just down the drain, but it is okay because I can record. Good thing. It's still the same idea, and so you have to learn to get back on the high horse after your pitfalls and not to stay stuck for too long. That is one thing. A lot of people tend to stay down a little too long, but it's like, no, okay, these things happen. You will get sent tests, you will get sent pitfalls. That is okay. You pick yourself up and you keep going. The thing about dreams is it's going to be a journey, it's going to be a road, but it is not for no reason. It is training you to be stronger in whatever thing you are manifesting, or whatever you are trying to get to. It will make sense why you had to go through that in the end, because you'll be gaining little nuggets of knowledge and information and skill along the way that will aid you more than you can even know once you actually reach your destination. A lot of people think that the destination is, where you get the fun part and it's all this, all that. We get money, we get whatever, whatever you would like to manifest or dream you would like to have. But I'd say the journey definitely is the part that people want to really relish in. It's not that fun when you're going through it, but take a little moment and to like realize just how far you're going in, the little nuggets of time that, life gives you to breathe. And you'll just realize how fun it actually is, like getting to know your worth, getting to know everything that you are capable of, and finally being able to get the courage to put that out. It's those little breakthroughs, or those huge breakthroughs actually, that just give you that adrenaline rush, so that once you actually make it to your destination, it's the final celebration and not the first. Moving on to our next barrier is time. Of course, everyone's always running from the clock. Everyone's always running, trying to catch their time. Time is valuable. Time is money. We all know these sayings. But I think time definitely, while it shouldn't be the thing that you primarily focus on, it is really valuable. And so I think that time should be used very, very, very wisely. That was one of the reasons that I, took so long, is because I always said I didn't have enough time, or I felt tired and I just didn't really feel in the mood. And I had to realize that no, if you keep saying that you don't have enough time, eventually too much time will pass and days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and you're still where you are. I had to learn that even if you are tired, even if you are scared, even if you are afraid, you still have to do it, and you still should do it. And actually, that's how you know you're in the right place. Fear is great sometimes. It is a survival instinct, yes. Remember, our bodies are trying to keep us safe. But it also lets you know where you're headed. You're headed into uncharted territory. You're headed for risk. And sometimes risk isn't bad. Instead, I actually think that learning to take calculated risks, especially certain people, creative people especially, is very beneficial and can lead to so many opportunities opening, entrepreneurship that people wouldn't even dream of if they just took a risk. Like, your whole life can change. That's one thing. Like, I encourage people to employ the mindset that anything can happen. Anything can happen. Like, your life is so exciting. Always believe that. Always affirm that. Your life is so exciting. Anything can happen. Anything can come in. Everything that's great is on its way to you. See, I actually listen to affirmations at night, and I think that's a really helpful way, because my dreams have always been very, very vivid and just useful to me in understanding my psyche. I encourage people to find a way to meditate. You don't have to, sit in silence. You can find a way to do it your way that actually helps you and makes you feel good. My way is listening to it while I go to sleep. But for anybody out there, I encourage you to just take up meditation and just try it for a couple weeks and see the difference that it makes in your life. It can really change your frame of mind. And changing your frame of mind is how you change your outward actions, and then your outward actions change your surroundings, and then now you're a new person because you're making different choices than you would have a couple weeks ago. Now you're a different person because you're making different choices you would have made a couple months ago. And now your life is heading in a completely different direction. And a lot of people overcomplicate that process and they'll overthink it. And I am guilty. I overthink quite a bit. But I'm learning that it doesn't have to be that complicated. It can just be simple. Check out my song. I'm gonna link it somewhere if I can. If I figure out how to do it, I'm gonna link it somewhere. Maybe up here. I don't know. That's for future Aaliyah to figure out. Okay, we'll see. But that's why I make the music that I do, because it's all about the lessons that I've learned along the way. And I'm always so I love it so much. Like, how do you grasp these lessons so quickly? How are you so young and you can grasp what people are, still struggling to figure out in later ages? And I'm not gonna toot my own horn and say, anything like that. It's just, I have learned to realize and to be aware of the things that are happening in my life. I know why they're happening. I know where I'm going. I have a really good head on my shoulders, and I really kind of always have. I think, honestly, it's my spirituality. I'm just very connected, and so I don't know. I'm gonna leave that for another time because we're getting into something. That segment with, it's important to make time for your dreams, and it's important not to put things off, because you never know when you're going to, something's gonna happen. Like I said, time shouldn't be the focus, but it is valuable, and so we never know. You just got to do it now, because now is the only thing that is absolutely guaranteed. The past has already happened and the future is yet to come. Focus on now. Moving on to our next one, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. Now, in high school, if you would have told me that I'd be doing this in front of the camera right now, I would have told you I don't believe you, because I was so private. I was such a shy girl who, I'm not gonna say I was, calm all the time. I have a lot of fire behind me, but that was only for people who knew me, and that was a very select few. If you didn't really know me that well, you probably would say that I don't talk much, and I'm just nice, and I do my work, and I just, I focus on me, and I don't really bother anybody. But to people who knew me, I was the brightest in the room, and that's just because I was a very private person, and I just didn't really care to have a whole group of friends. I could know everybody and keep everyone as an acquaintance, but to be friends with everyone closely, no, I'm not that type of person. I rather have like one or two close friends and then just like speak to everyone else in passing, because truth be told, all of that energy is very overwhelming. And I'm gonna be doing that for work eventually. I don't want to be I don't want to be the entertainer, the performer on stage and off stage. So, sometimes I just like to sit around and be Aaliyah, me, and the audience. At the beginning of this, I had a lot of insecurities about my voice and the way that I sound. Those who are creative know that once you actually start recording your voice and hearing how it sounds, you go through that phase where you just don't recognize it, where it just sounds different from what it sounds like in your head. And you have to get used to hearing what it sounds like, recorded, as well as working on your voice. I didn't really have a lot of training when it comes to singing, so a lot of it is self-taught. A lot of my technique, which I'm not gonna say I have the best technique, it's just self-taught. It's from me singing every day. It's from me just having the passion for music and for art and for singing my heart out literally every day. I was in choir in middle school, and I was in a couple competitions that I was lucky enough to actually get into and be a part of. Something called All Region, where I was living at the time, and it was just where a bunch of the singers, from the different middle schools, would basically go to a competition to see who can perform in this big choir that everyone would do, and basically just have a fun time, just be a part of something really fun. And I was lucky to try out both years and be able to attend both years. For the first year I got in as an alternate, and for the second year I actually got a spot. I was a little bit more comfortable that year, and I just knew how the process was gonna go. Let me tell you, both years I went first, by the way, which Oh my gosh, either I was like first or second in line, and the way that we sing, like, it's not a full song, so it didn't take long for me to be up. I'd be like, oh shoot, it's me next. But I had to learn to keep my nerves under control. A lot of anxiety would definitely pull up in those moments, but I would still do the best that I can and still know that I gave it my all, and that definitely kept me from being too down for too long. But I couldn't fathom being famous. Like, I couldn't think of myself and see myself as a celebrity even then. That was the very beginning. That was me figuring out my voice. Like, when they even called me and said that I was a choice, I was like, oh, me? And it would shock me every time. I'd be like, again? I was only like I was only living where I was living to do this for 2 years, but I was just like, I'm so shocked. Like, I know I can sing, but they pick me. And I don't know, it made me really happy to know that not only do I see something in myself, but other people saw something in me. And it was those little victories along the way that I was like, maybe I do have this. Like, maybe I could do this. Like, oh my gosh, maybe this could be something. This could be what I really want it to be, but I was too scared to say it this whole time. Because the thing is, I'd been trying and putting myself in situations where I could be creative, where I could express myself physically for the longest. Any drama class they had, I was in it. Any drama club, I was in that. Any singing, I was in that. Choir, pretty much all of my life. Band class, I played the clarinet. I was definitely a little a little clarinety up in there. And yeah, as well as just like dance. I was on the dance team in high school. I was on the dance team in middle school, whenever we were allowed to apply. Elementary, I had a really checkered past with dance. I was in dance class for a little bit, but I remember telling my mom I wanted to leave because I felt alone in the class and I felt like I didn't have any friends. That was really important for me, feeling accepted and feeling safe in those spaces. And that actually was the reason that I was pulled from that class. My mom was just like, okay, you don't want to do it anymore, that's fine. But I wish that I wouldn't have told her that and that I would have stayed, because who knows, maybe I'd have been in a different place. I always did go back to dance. Like, any other chance I got, I was in it. So it really wasn't the fact that I didn't love dance enough. It was just me not really feeling comfortable in the space that I was to be taught dance. Nothing on, the school or anything, but I just didn't feel exactly safe. We'll use that. But I did end up graduating co-captain of my dance team in high school, which was really nice. That was one of those first things where I was like, okay, maybe I could do a leadership position, and as well, maybe I can do dance after this. Honestly, the world is my oyster, so any chance I can get, I'll probably be, in there some type of way. You'll see it. Something I'll decide where I'm like, okay, we're gonna get back into dance, because it's been something that I absolutely love and am not giving up any way, shape, or form. A lot of the self-doubt was really just fears and anxiety, and I had to learn to tune that out and to say, you are not going to keep me from doing whatever it is that I want to do. And in fact, I'm going to do it more now that that's kind of there. That voice is trying to stop me, or that limiting belief is trying to stop me. Now I'm just gonna do it 10 times better. Like, it's fuel now, and I am blessed to have that mindset, that to have it be fuel instead of a chain that holds me back. Overall, the lessons I've learned is to get to know yourself. And don't be scared to take risks. Don't be scared to follow your dreams. Don't be scared to dream big. And don't be scared to believe that whatever you want wants you even more. You know, like, you want to be that for a reason. And following it just might lead you to have the answer, to find out why, you know, why you've been dreaming of being on stage your whole life, and why you've been dreaming of singing, and why you love it so much the way you do, and why you love the creative arts. Or for anyone out there, you know, why you love, you know, debating, and maybe you want to be a lawyer, or why you love medicine and maybe you want to go for, you know, a medical career. It's following those little nudges and those little intuition hits that they will give you in forms of passion that will lead you to the life that you've always wanted to live, and you literally might get paid for it. Figure out a way to make it profitable. If it's not the most profitable thing immediately, you find a way to make it profitable, and you find a way to make it work. Because as long as you're doing it consistently, you will get somewhere, and you will get somewhere that you absolutely love. I believe that, and so should you. If anyone else has any stories that they would like to share, any things that they've overcome, any things that they've, you know, had success with in forms of like your career or anything, please share it in the comments. We would love to hear your story, and we would love to connect with you. After all, that's what this freaking channel is for. Connection. For me to find those out there who freaking like it, who like this video, who like me, and, you know, just vibe a little bit. After all, that's what this video is for. To find like-minded people and people who would best vibe with the channel. If you like this channel, please subscribe, because we could use a couple people on here. You know, we just sticking around for the ride. I've got more videos coming, and I think I'm actually going to start reacting to music on Patreon. I'm setting that up. Let me know who y'all want to hear. I've got Sabrina Carpenter coming up, since she did just release her album, and I have a couple more people that I want to hear. These will be just neutral reactions from, you know, an artist's standpoint, you know, someone who has an eye for music, or an ear, if you will. Just, you know, saying parts that I like, you know, parts that maybe are different, maybe just seeing, you know, what their inspiration was, just looking at the lyrics. So there will be no hate spewing towards. I know a lot of people are already feeling some way about the album, and definitely since the album cover, but I will be looking at this very much with just the music. Like, we're just going to be analyzing the music and whatnot. Also, we'll be looking at just how much of it that she wrote, because songwriting is a really big thing for me. So I want to see, you know, how much that I can connect to her music, or how much that she connects with her own music. So that will be coming up on Patreon very, very soon. Also, if you have any video ideas that you would like to see, anyone that you would like to see me do, comment them below, because I will be looking at those as well. All right, I think that's good. I'm about pooped, and y'all can't see this, but the light behind this is so bright. Just one of those things we deal with, you know. When you're a superstar, you gotta shine. So hey, we got a bright light. But goodbye, YouTube.